into this event, a lot of people would have expected that these two decks, Mitsurugi and Maliss, would have kind of fallen off and would not have been sitting at these last two tables. As you mentioned as well, usually at the start of a tournament like this, any big event, you kind of go, what deck do you think is going to win? But you actually said to me, I think Josh Kelly is going to be one of these ones. We have seen Josh Kelly this entire circuit doing very, very well. Don't take anything away. We do still have Dave standing in his way. Now, Dave does not get to this end of tournament of 9 rounds without doing incredibly well himself. So we're seeing Josh start straight off with prayers, probably the best, most custom start you could have possibly imagined for the Mitsurugi strategy. And it's very, very interesting to see how we're going to be able to proceed from this. Because one big thing that we mentioned at the start is how respectful are you going to be of these older strategies? And I keep saying older as if they're like really retro style decks, but in general, decks like Maliss and Mitsurugi had kind of been considered to been pushed to the forefront. We do see that Josh does not have Artifact Lancer, but we do know that the Mitsurugi lineup that he's decided to go with is still very, very good into the Maliss strategy. One common thing that both these decks having been played, both of them are on Dimension Shifter.
So yeah, Josh Kelly won in the UK circuits, hot off a top 16 finish at the EU WCQ, as well as, I think he might have even been another top 16 at UK Nationals this year. So at Euros this year, he was able to make top 16 with a very similar list, I believe, of pure Mitsurugi. So it's really good to see him just forcing his way through this tournament, currently 8-0. And yeah, we're just going to see how we
navigate from here. Exactly that. So Josh has already kind of faced the Dominus Impulse. Again, when you get to a period like this, whether you know what your opponent's on or not, especially with over 300 players, you can't know exactly what every single player is going to be on. But when you see a card like Dominus Impulse, you're able to narrow it down quite a bit. He's either going to be in a mirror matchup, which he's already faced previously, or he's going to be in a possible Maliss matchup. Maybe even a Lunar Lights, you never know, that could really surprise him. But he is not even missing a step or missing a beat on this one. We're going to be carrying it back through, going into the Gallant Granite, going to guarantee ourselves that access of Nibiru, the Primal being in the hand. I do love this interaction with, not the fact that you could just directly get access to your Nibiru, but the fact that Nibiru will allow you to, even without access to something like prayers, even without access to being able to tribute off your own cards, you go, okay, that's fine, just summon 5 times, not only will I tribute your cards, but I'll tribute mine as well, and be able to bring them back into rotation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I really love that it's like making that like kind of prioritization on getting Futsu access, bringing out additional copies of Murakuma later in the turn. Just the Futsu feels like such a strong card because it just guarantees like you feel very safe, right? If that makes sense. Yeah. No matter what happens within the game, you just feel like this Futsu is going to keep generating me card advantage, and I'll get there eventually, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think this was the one big question mark we had moving into this particular period of the game. So usually you can look at what else is going around in the environment. You can kind of see that, you know, Justice Hunters is going to be presenting us with these particular decks, but there is one big thing that we have that the other side does not, and that is being a TCG exclusive of the Mitsurugis. So this is kind of an unknown path to tread, I suppose, in regards to the format. So very, very interesting to see, and they're definitely well around in the circuit, as is Maliss. Dave is just sitting there taking it all in at the moment. I can't imagine he's a stranger to a Mitsurugi matchup prior to Justice Hunters in general anyway.
I think the big thing here is obviously starts to turn by activating that Dominus Impulse, which, although Josh probably knows what's going on here, it's okay, but that Dominus Impulse is usually very, very strong into the Mitsurugi matchup because just stopping that ritual from being able to ritual someone from the deck is so key as well, right? Just to be able to stop a lot of like the key plays that might go ahead. Obviously, Dave starting to turn off now. Josh Kelly's board really, really strong as well. Already got the Futsu and the Murakuma set up, so even if something like Nibiru the Primal Being comes down, still getting so much advantage, right? Yeah,
exactly that. And taking a quick peek into Dave's hand, it looks like there is a Gold Sarcophagus, a Cyverse Wizard, followed up by a Book of Eclipse. Not so great in this particular matchup. I believe he drew a White Rabbit for turn. And then one other unknown spell card, which I believe looks like a Drill Tactics Frost.
I believe you're right there. And I think I really like how you start this turn. I think the Book of Eclipse is actually going to be really, really strong here, just because, although, yeah, you've got the IP Masquerena to like try towards the link play, right? I think the Book of Eclipse being able to kind of set the Futsu face down is really, really strong, and it kind of makes Josh have to go into some like maybe more awkward lines, if that makes sense, to try and generate the advantage there.
Yeah, one other very niche interaction of this Book of Eclipse, which I can't imagine is going to provide Dave with much advantage, but it's one thing that a lot of people do forget, is that Nibiru can only tribute face-up monsters.
Yeah.
So if there was a world in where Book of Eclipse could flip down his own monsters during a Nibiru phase, that would never really be entering wouldn't really cause much of an issue. But we are going to be trading off this Book of Eclipse. Now, this is the one big difference as well, is that being able to tribute cards as cost is the big difference between still being able to, utilize your fusion materials, utilize your tribute materials, and everything else in between. Being able to back this up with a Triple Tactics Thrust, what we've traded here is we have traded the ability with the Book of Eclipse for the ability of being able to use IP Masquerade at this exact moment in time. Because if that changes and Josh is able to provide another monster to the field, then IP is back online. As it stands right now, IP isn't that fretful to Dave's ability.
No, for definite. It's just really, what does Dave decide to take off of this Thrust? Is it going to be the talents? Is it going to be maybe another engine type card? Obviously, having not committed the normal summon to the turn yet, we'll see how it's going to go. Obviously, the talents here, most likely look at hand, I'm going to guess. Maybe take control. If it's taking control, that's pretty big for Josh, in all fairness. But, okay, going to take the Murakumo here.
Interesting we take control of a face-down monster here.
Yep.
Because Dave's not really going to be able to get rid of that. Ooh, okay, we'll flip up our own Makumo. I mean, taking the IP would have been quite interesting, because then you IP, and then all you need to do is get one monster to the field, and you jump straight into one of your link-free Maliss monsters. So Norman down the White Rabbit, probably the best one you could ask for a normal summon, next to Dormouse. But I do like the fact of the White Rabbit is it gives you access to one of your track cards straight away.
I think if there was like an imperm, definitely that's going to come down here. I would be assuming that one of the set cards is maybe Mitsurugi Prayers. But I guess Josh maybe not expecting the Murakumo to be taking control of there from the Triple Tactics talent. And I guess that the Murakumo also like poses a threat, right? Because it's going to also force Josh to discard one of his cards from his hand, which maybe he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, it is a very kind of interesting position to be in, because number one, I can't imagine Dave is going to want to link off that Murakumo anytime soon. We do have one zone locked down with our own Chessy Cat. We're working our way through. We're kind of limiting ourselves to the amount of extends. We do know, I believe there's still a wizard in Dave's hand as well, so that's going to allow him to extend that bit more. But how much can you hold off of not using that Murakumo?
The other big thing here is that is summon number 5.
Yes.
As well, so we cannot forget. And then obviously the Murakumo will be tributed. Which such a good card. I love Murakumo so much, and just how it can make some of these matchups just kind of scary, right, to play into. So the Magatama here, is it going to be used to ritual summon, or is it going to be used to tribute? That's what we got to see from Josh here.
Looks like we're going for the tribute, which is good, because we're going to get the
ritual summon.
Ooh,
okay,
he's our second Murakumo.
So yeah, this just feels very, very strong with the ritual as just to ensure, like, maybe I'm just want to make sure I have these interrupts, and we'll get there. But yeah, I definitely do agree with you here.
I guess we're about to see exactly what's happening here. So we've got the good old-fashioned Maliss set 1 normal summon a monster. So always try to bluff that if a targeted effect is going to be utilised, you might have the ability to dodge and run away with it. We are going to be chaining the Full Definitely a good card for Josh to be using here, because what it now starts to do is it now starts to put Maliss in a bit of an awkward position where they could start to slowly link climb up to get the resources in rotation, or you have to try and force yourself to extend as much as possible from the hand, and then just go straight into one of your link frees.
Yeah, I think from Dave's perspective as well, you kind of just want to give like 1, maybe 2 draws, so it's not really like that's that impactful to your opponents to see that many additional cards, and you just kind of want to go for a very simplistic field, I'd say. However, Dave does also have the very, very, very powerful Triple Tactics talent within his hand, and that's what's really going to be like shining here, isn't it? Just to see, I guess, take away some resources from Josh, but also just ensure that you may not get hit by additional hand traps if you go for more of this simplistic line.
Yeah, exactly that. I suppose the question then comes down to is, do you want to use it now this very minute? It doesn't look like they're going to, because I feel that this could have been very easily punished by an Ash Blossom.
Yep.
So being able to get access to the March Hare, possibly Dave is going to try and navigate a little bit more into giving Josh the least amount of advantage off of the back of the Fualos. We know that there is a March Hare. We've already used the White Rabbit's Banish Revival effect, 2 more spells, and another unknown monster that I can't quite make out as of yet. So we're going to banish the NTP 07.
Yep, and I think what I'd be thinking about here is if I'm Davis, I just want to give as few draws as possible, make a very nice, like very simplistic field, and then at the end, I'll just triple tactics to get rid of the most powerful card. Yeah, this is the Monster Reborn.
You mentioned it, and that's very, very interesting.
Yep.
Because Monster Reborn for a Fualos. I assume we're going into the red. Go straight into Heart's Crypta, not even skip a beat. Josh, there you go. You can have 1. Now, do you Triple Tactic Talents and take a look at the advantage that Josh may have? Yep. He knows exactly what he's doing. Straight to the hand. Wow. Okay. That Ritual Spell and the preparations are both very, very tempting.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what you take here. I think it's very hard to say depending on what the last card in Dave's hand is. But if it's not Ash Blossom Joy Spring, I think you just have to take that Ritual straight away, because Ritual, Murakumo, it's what we're talking about all day. It's just such a stellar way to start your turn if you're Josh and the Mitsurugi strategy, that even if you the pre-preparation of rights, it does a very similar sort of course of action, but it's not the exact same, right? That's what I'd be thinking about here.
Yeah, exactly that. I think
a little bit more room to interrupt, isn't there?
Dave's having a very big think about this, because there are those 2 cards in combination you don't want to see in the hand.
Yeah.
It really does provide you with a bit of dilemma, and even trying to navigate through the next turn on this one for Dave. So we've got the GWC.
Yep.
If he decides to activate the GWC now, you're not really going to get a huge amount of advantage. It looks like we've gone for the preparation. If you save the GWC for the next turn, you bring back the white rabbit, and you're going to want to reset or try and get access to the MTP 07. That's ideally what you're trying to do here. So you're going to need to trade your Heart's Crypta first to get the MTP 07 back into the deck, to then trade your GWC to get your White Rabbit to get you access to your GWC.
And it looks like it's past the turnover, and this, I don't know, this just feels devastating if you're Dave here. Obviously, you can't commit too many cards into that Fualos, and I think the play was correct there from Dave's side as well, just with what you're working with there.
Yeah,
but
I
Ritual Murakumo, it's just too powerful.
Yeah, exactly that. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of resource being recouped here from Josh. The Murakumo is going to try and threaten the white binder, and you can kind of see Josh very clearly declaring all of his chains, pointing at the cards of what's going to be using here. We're going to be chaining the Heart's Crypta to try and banish the Murakumo. We've already seen that Josh has a second Murakumo ready to go in rotation. We drew the prayers at the top. Yeah,
that is
very, very painful
for Dave now.
So GWC going to get access to the White Rabbit. Oh, we'll go for the March Hare instead. Okay, I think that kind of changes. Yeah, this is... yeah, that prayers off of the top of the deck, it has been a massive, massive game changer here. There's still 1 unknown card in Dave's hand. I'm not too sure what you could arguably counter as, because I feel that if it was a Bestial, you might have gambled to utilize it to extend. Yeah, I think this is quite an interesting predicament to be in right now.
Yeah, I think I just love the Ritual Spell plus Murakumo Dale, and I think this is really just going to shine away with this. And again, Josh just looks like he's very, very leading position here, confidently going through the plays now. And it's just unfortunate for Dave that it's now basically down to 1 card, right?
Yeah.
Although the March Hare, I guess, will be coming back or returning to the hand. So...
Yeah, I think Josh is definitely in a very commanding position here. The March Hare coming back to the hand is quite important, because that will get you the access to your Heart's Crypta back.
Yep.
But you're not really getting back into any additional lines of disruption.
Yep.
You're not adding in a banish, you're not adding into any kind of...
anything really somewhat meaningful, if you know what I mean. Like, it just means that Josh might just have to fight that little bit harder to to take apart what Dave still has, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly that. The fact we haven't even conducted a normal summon yet, like Murakumo, as you mentioned, is a very, very intimidating card itself. Yep. But also is Heart Scripter. Heart Scripter is no pushover herself. And yeah, we kind of know everything else left in Josh's hand now, though, right? So we know everything that he's been searched off of the back of the Triple Tactic Talents. We saw that there was a second Murakumo. Yep. We know that he has this card in the hand as well. Habakuri was searched a minute ago.
Yep.
So yeah,
we're going to get a rank 4 out of this as well, which is stellar, really, isn't it? It's just going to keep pushing forward. I guess the only thing here for Josh's side is there a potential Nibiru from Dave's side? But I guess not really. Looking at the deck list now, so it looks like there isn't too much left going on for Dave, unfortunately, here, and we're just going to see Josh go through some of the motions. Obviously, we do still have the March Hare to remove from play, the Heart Cryptor. Obviously, creating some bodies there. Going for a play for Dark, I really like that. I think this is quite aggressive, and I guess Josh can try and target down the other Maliss name in the graveyard.
Yeah, I think at the very least, what's going to happen here is the March Hare is going to force this out, or the Dark forces out the March Hare.
Yep.
Because you're going to be going, okay, well, I'm going to take your Heart Scriptor now, and you're going to go, no, we're going to March Hare, get rid of it, and then the Dark doesn't get to revive, but then we're going to be able to get the Heart Scriptor back to the field. Murakumo is going to try and force Dave to discard a card, which was the White Rabbit, and now I think we're completely out of resource here now. The Heart Scriptor comes back to the field. We've already used the Heart Scriptor effect as well, as that was chained previously. Now it is just a moment of time of, can Josh loop the Murakumo again one more time, which will clear this field back off, and sitting at a baseline of 3,200 attack, plus the Dart Charmer, he's not far off of becoming an undefeated UK national champion.
Exactly, and I think it's really strong here is just, I guess if Josh has the ability to, it's just, you've got to deal with that Heart Cryptor, because it is at 5,000, I believe, now, right?
So it's 5,000 when it comes back from being banished, So again, but it has no built-in protection. So a loop of the Murakumo kind of does the job there. Trying to see if there's anything else in Josh's extra deck that may be required to be called upon, but I feel that there's enough there to kind of deal with it.
I guess maybe Josh can go for an aggressive Dynamondo to maybe shuffle it back, potentially, and return it to that extra deck. But we'll see. Obviously, there's a lot of ritual monsters coming down now here, Dale.
Yeah, he's got the whole family. He's got the Habakuri, he's got the Murakumo, and the Futsu. He is showing them all off.
Exactly, and I think Dave is just kind of just expecting here, just wait and see exactly what happens and how this game ends up going. So.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's having a good old chuckle about it. Both thought he's having a bit of a laugh on this one. Both of them know that the reveal of the talents just made it so difficult, and you pretty much called it here.
Yes.
The Dynamondo being able to deal with that Heart Scriptor takes away that resource, so that should Dave manage to survive another turn, being able to bring it back or banishing it. We're going to be trading off 1-for-1 here. Murakumo, Dynamondo. Dynamondo is going to work its way back during the to Dave's turn. Passing to Dave here, I can't imagine there's a top deck that's going to be anything too
I can't imagine, especially like into the Murakumo, which will basically negate anything, right?
Yeah,
it's very, very hard.
What card can you think of any card in Yu-Gi-Oh that you could top deck right now? Not even in Dave's deck. Any card of the game you go, I top deck that and changes the tide.
Oh,
I bet it'll be a Fool Loss or a Chummy. It's always a Chummy.
Oh no, it's the soul card, the Engage, which unfortunately is nothing here.
That, to be fair, of all the cards,
it could be.
that is it, Josh Kelly. Look at that, looked at the camera right.